SKOL Vikings, let's win this game.
The Minnesota Vikings have strengthened their defense with another signing. Meanwhile, 3 players are already under serious pressure, following Minnesota's narrow preseason victory over the New York Giants. On the positive side, an explosive rookie running back is earning a place in Kevin O'Connell's plans, while a former NFL head coach has delivered a brutally honest verdict on the biggest controversy of the past few days. The Minnesota Vikings are adding another defender to Brian Flores' unit by signing former Carolina Panthers and Houston Gamblers edge defender Kenny Dyson. UFL reporter Michael Del Negro reported the move on August 17 after Dyson recorded 27 tackles and 4.5 sacks across 10 games for Houston during the 2026 UFL season. The 25-year-old entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent out of Bryant in 2024 and began his professional career with Carolina before moving to the Spring League. Minnesota now gives him another opportunity to prove that he belongs in the NFL. But his arrival comes at one of the most competitive moments on the league calendar. The Vikings have already completed their first preseason game, meaning Dyson must learn Flores' defensive system quickly, while also demonstrating that he can contribute on special teams. Flores is known for moving defenders around and creating specialized roles based on their individual strengths, which could give Dyson a chance to show how his pass-rushing production from the UFL might translate to Minnesota. However, earning a place on the 53-man roster will be extremely difficult. Andrew Van Ginkel and Dallas Turner lead a deep group of outside linebackers, while Bo Richter, Chaz Chambliss, and Tyler Batty already have experience within the organization. Undrafted rookies Arden Walker and Cam Ron Stewart are also competing for developmental opportunities. Minnesota had 7 outside linebackers before adding Dyson, so every available practice repetition will become important. Dyson's 4.5 sacks with Houston demonstrate that he can reach the quarterback, and that production may help him stand out from several of the other reserve options. Chambliss is the only Vikings backup outside linebacker in the competition with even half a sack during his NFL career, giving Dyson at least one measurable advantage despite his late arrival. Still, UFL production will not automatically secure an NFL position. Dyson must prove that he can defend the run, understand his assignments, operate within Flores' pressure packages, and help on multiple special teams units. His first possible opportunity could come during Minnesota's second preseason game against the Baltimore Ravens, assuming he can learn enough of the system to take the field. The Vikings may view him as competition for a practice squad position rather than an immediate threat to the established players. But the preseason can change quickly when injuries and unexpected performances affect the depth chart. Dyson has received another NFL opportunity, and now he must make an immediate impression before the roster clock runs out. Minnesota defeated the New York Giants 13-10 inches its preseason opener, but 3 Vikings players left the game needing much stronger performances during the remaining exhibition schedule. Wide receiver Dillon Bell entered the contest facing an extremely competitive path to the final roster. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Jawan Jennings, and Ty Felton appear positioned to claim the leading receiver spots, leaving Bell fighting for a possible 5th opening. The 6'1", 209-pound undrafted receiver received only 1 target against New York and failed to complete the catch. He did contribute as a runner, carrying the ball twice for 27 yards, including a 17-yard gain, but his future will likely depend on proving that he can produce consistently in the passing game. Bell still has opportunities remaining, but he needs to demand the coaching staff's attention before Minnesota finalizes its receiver room. Defensive lineman Domonique Orange also failed to generate the impact many expected from a 3rd-round selection. The 6'2", 322-pound rookie recorded only 1 tackle despite entering the game with the physical profile to strengthen Minnesota's interior run defense. Statistics do not always reveal how effectively a defensive lineman occupies blockers or disrupts the middle, but Orange needed a more noticeable performance with several young defenders competing for snaps. His college film and training camp work suggests that he possesses the ability to separate himself, but that did not happen against the Giants. The greatest concern, however, may involve J.J. McCarthy. After losing the starting quarterback competition to Kyler Murray, McCarthy appeared likely to enter the season as Minnesota's QB2. His performance in the preseason opener has now created another debate after veteran Carson Wentz clearly produced the stronger statistical showing. McCarthy completed 4 of 7 passes for 34 yards, added 1 rushing yard, and took 1 sack. Wentz completed 9 of 14 attempts for 81 yards and connected with Miles Price for a 1-yard touchdown. One preseason appearance should not decide the entire depth chart, but McCarthy looked uncomfortable and did not generate the type of momentum needed after losing the QB1 job. Minnesota must now consider whether McCarthy should automatically remain the backup or whether Wentz has earned a legitimate opportunity to compete for the position. McCarthy remains young and may benefit from additional time to learn O'Connell's offense without being forced into an immediate role. However, another loss in the quarterback competition would raise even more questions about his development and future with the organization. Bell, Orange, and McCarthy still have time to respond, but the pressure has increased dramatically. Every practice and remaining preseason snap could determine whether they earn a roster position, climb the depth chart, or begin the regular season with a much smaller role than expected. Rookie running back Claiborne may have been one of the biggest beneficiaries of Minnesota's preseason victory over the Giants. His final rushing numbers were not spectacular, as the 6th-round selection carried the ball 12 times for 34 yards and averaged only 2.8 yards per attempt. However, the number of opportunities he received may be much more significant than the production itself. Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, and Jermar Jefferson recorded only 3 carries each, while Xavier Scott received 2. Claiborne's 12 rushing attempts created a massive difference in workload and suggested that the Vikings wanted an extended evaluation of their explosive rookie. Minnesota selected Claiborne with the 198th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, after his speed and athletic ability made him an intriguing change of pace option. Jones provides receiving ability and a complete skill set, while Mason offers power between the tackles. Claiborne brings a different element with the acceleration to attack tired or slower defenses and potentially create explosive plays when he reaches open space. That contrast could give O'Connell additional flexibility when designing the running game. Claiborne could receive touches when Minnesota wants to increase the tempo, challenge defenders on the outside, or change the rhythm established by the veteran backs. His value against the Giants also extended beyond the offense. Claiborne handled 2 kickoff returns for 50 total yards, including a 28-yard return, demonstrating that he could help Minnesota on special teams while developing his offensive role. His speed could also make him a candidate for coverage responsibilities if the coaching staff believes he can contribute as a gunner. Young players selected late in the draft often secure roster positions by becoming valuable on special teams before earning larger offensive or defensive assignments. Claiborne now appears to have a realistic path to following that model. One preseason game does not guarantee his position on the final roster, and he still must improve his efficiency as a runner, demonstrate reliability and pass protection, and prove that he can avoid costly mistakes. Nevertheless, his extensive workload indicates that Minnesota is actively searching for ways to get him on the field. Claiborne no longer looks like an anonymous late-round pick, simply fighting to survive the final cuts. He is becoming a legitimate offensive and special teams option whose rise could affect every running back behind Jones and Mason. Scott and Jefferson now face even greater pressure because Claiborne's versatility gives him more than one way to justify a roster spot. If the rookie continues building on his preseason debut, he could enter the regular season with a defined role and eventually take snaps from players currently listed above him. Minnesota wanted to evaluate Claiborne against NFL competition, and his usage against the Giants delivered a clear message. The Vikings believe their rookie running back deserves serious consideration. Former NFL head coach Steve Mariucci believes the Vikings made the correct decision by naming Kyler Murray their starting quarterback over J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota publicly presented the situation as a competition after signing Murray in free agency, but Murray was widely viewed as the favorite because of his experience and previous success as a 2-time Pro Bowl quarterback. The Vikings confirmed that expectation earlier in training camp, leaving McCarthy's short-term role and long-term future uncertain. McCarthy entered the league as a highly drafted developmental quarterback, but injuries and inconsistent production have prevented him from establishing himself as Minnesota's clear answer. During the 2025 season, he completed 140 of 243 passes for 1,632 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Although he occasionally demonstrated the talent that made him a first-round selection, his struggles created serious questions for a team that believes it is prepared to compete immediately. Minnesota could have given McCarthy another opportunity and turned to Murray later if the young quarterback failed. But the organization decided that it could not afford to spend the beginning of another season wading through additional growing pains. Mariucci supported that approach and argued that McCarthy still needs to prove that he can remain healthy and available. He also questioned McCarthy's limited passing workload during his college career, despite the quarterback's success and national championship at Michigan. In Mariucci's view, Murray gives Minnesota the best chance to win right now because of his experience and exceptional athletic ability. That assessment reflects the central reason behind the Vikings' decision. Minnesota believes its roster can compete for a Super Bowl if O'Connell can receive dependable quarterback play. The team won 14 games, with Sam Darnold operating the offense in 2024, and the organization is hoping O'Connell can help Murray produce a similar career resurgence. Murray's mobility, arm talent, and experience give the offense possibilities that McCarthy has not yet demonstrated consistently at the professional level. Still, naming Murray the starter does not guarantee that the plan will succeed. He must remain healthy, learn O'Connell's system, and build chemistry with Minnesota's playmakers. If Murray struggles or misses time, McCarthy could receive another opportunity to prove that the Vikings moved away from him too quickly. For now, however, Murray is unquestionably the team's leading quarterback, and Mariucci believes Minnesota deserves credit for recognizing its problem and acquiring a more reliable option. McCarthy's development does not have to end because he lost the competition, but he must use this period to improve, stay prepared, and demonstrate that he can eventually handle a larger role. The Vikings have made their choice for the 2026 season. Whether it moves them closer to a championship will only become clear when Murray leads the offense in games that truly matter. The Vikings roster continues to evolve as the preseason moves forward. Kenny Dyson has received a late opportunity to earn a place in Brian Flores' defense, but he must immediately compete with one of Minnesota's deepest position groups. Dillon Bell and Domonique need stronger performances after quiet preseason debuts, while J.J. McCarthy may now be fighting Carson Wentz to protect his position as the backup quarterback. Claiborne is moving in the opposite direction, after his heavy workload and special teams contributions revealed how seriously Minnesota is evaluating the rookie. And Steve Mariucci has added his voice to the quarterback debate by declaring that Kyler Murray gives the Vikings their strongest opportunity to win now. Which development will have the biggest impact on Minnesota's season? Do you believe McCarthy should remain QB2, or has Wentz already earned a real competition? Leave your opinion in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for the next Minnesota Vikings update. Stay tuned. SKOL Vikings, let's go!